Everybody, happy Tuesday. Kim Martin here, founder of I've Decided, and I am with my good friend Kurt P. White.
Hi, Kim.
Hello, Kurt. How are you today?
Wonderful. How
Good.
are you?
I'm wonderful too. I'm really excited about this show. You are tuning into my success, and really it's about you. This show is all about your success, your goals, your dreams, and we just want to share some information with you, hopefully encourage and motivate you to just keep going on whatever your goals and dreams are and keep plugging away at that. We have 4 shows every month that come live from YCast Studio on Tuesday around 12:30-ish. And this is the 3rd Tuesday of the month, so My Success is the show you're tuning into today. And what we like to do is kind of just dive in. We have our weekly winning resource. And every Sunday, if you are a part of our community, you receive a weekly winning resource in your email. And we talk about our weekly winning word and goals and challenges and things that you can do to stay on track. It correlates with your success planner and journal. And so this week's word is develop. And I really like that word. It actually means to build up, grow, or improve gradually over time. And so, Kurt, I thought you would be a perfect guest to be with me today to discuss this topic because it really is about developing a mindset. If you're going to get where you want to go, something's got to change. And we need to constantly, like you said before we started recording, adapting and evolving and growing and changing our mindset. And I love yours where you changed from handicapped to handy capable.
Sure.
So tell me a little bit about that. Tell us about Kurt. Tell these guys all about Kurt.
Okay.
The story's amazing.
Well, thanks for having me again.
Yeah.
It's my pleasure to be here. I'm Kurt P. White, and I like to go out, motivate, and encourage people to live their life to the fullest as I chose to do as a handy-capable person.
Right.
I didn't coin that word. I'm borrowing it, but I just I
borrow.
love the way that it works versus saying the word handicapped. Just saying that word handicapped to me invokes visions of putting a cap on something or
Right.
limiting somebody's upward potential, and that's certainly, I'm sure that's not what we're here for. We're here to encourage people, empower them, and allow them to develop the way that they're intended to.
Right.
So when I encourage people, one of the first things I talk about is making a commitment to overcoming life's obstacles. Obstacles are always going to be here no matter what. So that's kind of what we were alluding to earlier of making sure that you're open to adapt to
Right.
your circumstances, because whether we like it or not, things are never going to happen exactly the way we want to or when we want them to happen. The second thing that I talk about is following your passions. Don't disregard or ignore the things that really get you up and get you motivated to go get out of bed during the day. Those are the types of things that are going to continue to push us and move us forward. Following our dreams, not being afraid to take a leap of faith.
Which you did.
Exactly, which then goes to my third point, which I encourage people. Action alone doesn't make it work, and faith alone, you have to put them together. You got to use and take a leap of faith, take action, combine them, and go out and do something. Don't be afraid. Ask for help.
Yeah.
Become a member of I've Decided and
Yes.
and meet these great people who are gonna empower and encourage us all to be the best we can be. And for me personally, you've mentioned to me before, take advantage of advantages. My advantage, I feel, is my physical limitations are easier to see. People can look at me and say, oh yeah, that guy obviously has some things that he needs to deal with, but not patting myself on the back, that doesn't make them any greater or any better, or that's not the advantage. The advantage to me is it's a lot easier for me to cope. It's a lot easier for me to acknowledge because it's easier for you to see them. A lot of
True.
people, unfortunately, struggle with actually coming out and recognizing that we all have a disability of some sort. Recognizing what that is and acknowledging, you got to acknowledge it first before you can take action and do something about it. And the disabilities I'm referring to as an example maybe are the common, the stress, the anxiety, depression, victims of abuse, those types of things.
Addictions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Those are the types of things that, if we repress those, we don't take that leap of faith and acknowledge, hey, I might need help. This might be something that I need to work on. How in the world are we ever going to start developing strategies or programs or things that we can place into our lives that'll
Yeah.
motivate us to be better people?
Yeah, so basically, we need to develop the mindset
Yes.
that we need help to overcome what I like to call them hang-ups.
Sure.
We
Yep.
all have hang-ups. I talked about it at the conference when I was speaking to the group at the conference. It's like, what's your dream crusher? What's
Exactly.
the thing
What
that
crushes it? Yeah, that's awesome.
What's the thing that's holding you back? You always hear people say, "Oh, I want to lose weight. I want to get out of debt. I want to be more organized." And all of those are good goals. We definitely, those are goals that we have and want to achieve, but there's a purpose behind that.
Right.
And I like to share my girl Shando. Hey Shando, if you're watching, I love to share her story. She's been on a weight loss journey. She's lost 100 pounds so far.
Awesome.
And she's doing amazing, and she's getting close to achieving her goals. And we're pushing her through over the next year and a half. She should get there. And yeah, she needed to lose weight. That definitely was a goal.
Right.
But the truth is it really was just keeping her weight was keeping her from doing her real goal and desire, which is to speak, to encourage, to be a motivator. And so she didn't feel like she could do that all in if she had this weight issue, this thing that kept pulling her back.
Right. And for her to now acknowledge that was something she would need to work on,
Right.
then us to encourage and empower her, because we know that it's not going to happen overnight, that it's something that has to happen over time.
Right.
That's another great example of how we need to develop a process, develop a program, and as you mentioned earlier, develop means to grow over time. It's not going to happen immediately.
Over time.
Yeah.
Over
Yeah,
time.
don't expect miracles. When you told me I was going to just throw out too that the word being developed, I was like, where have I heard that, or why have I heard or used that word over in my life? And I guess just trying to come up with an analogy. Now, bear with me. You might have to help me here. But think about before we had our phones in our hands and our selfies and our digital cameras that instantly took pictures
Right.
and depicted where we were at that exact moment. We used to have to take our film in and have our film developed.
Yes.
Which
Anybody remember
yeah,
that?
exactly.
In the little yellow and black containers.
Oh yeah, I'm sure our kids have no clue
The
what we're
Kodak
talking.
counters.
Yeah, but the analogy or some of the things I tried to incorporate there was, we had to be patient. We had to understand that going and getting the pictures, it wasn't going to be instant gratification.
Right.
In order to see exactly where we were at that moment, we had to be patient and wait.
Right.
And then I'm also picturing then the person in the photography booth that has that process of developing the film.
Right.
Where we see, I've never done it personally,
But you've
but
seen
you see
people
where it
with
has to
the-
go from
yeah.
this liquid to this liquid, and you can't open the door or it's going to ruin it.
Right, 'cause it has to be dark.
So that whole process is very meticulous, but it's tried and true, and if you don't follow the steps, and be patient, then it's not going to work. So help me out with the analogy. I thought it was a great compared to the person, develop, and like our kids, they
Yeah.
just instant gratification. I'm going to take this selfie.
And now I
is
got
that
it.
and is that really who I am at that moment? I also they add filters, so they're masking who they really are. You know, let's go back to the time where we were developing our film.
So what I just got out of that is, so we talked about we need to develop the mindset that we need help.
Yes.
We got to acknowledge that we have a handicap.
Yep.
We have to acknowledge, and like what you said, Kurt, yours is visible. Somebody can see that you have a handicap on the outside. But everyone has it.
Right.
So whether you call it a dream crusher, a handicap, whatever you call it, we all have something that's holding us back. And we need to recognize, we have to develop the mindset that we got to know what that is and recognize that we have it, acknowledge it, and then develop the patience to know that it's going to take time to overcome that.
Yep. Trust the process.
Trust the process, yes. And like I think about like what you said, you gotta, the door can't open or it kind of, so you gotta know what you need to do though, right? You have to understand the process.
For sure. Yep. Or it'll ruin it, and you have to start over. And
Yeah. But
and
you can start
but
over.
that's okay. But back to the whole, nowadays kids would think that, well, instantly I'll just take another picture.
Right.
Well, it doesn't work that way. In real life, you got to start back to the beginning.
Yeah.
And go through the steps and be patient.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I thought it was an interesting thought process using the word develop.
Yeah. No, I love that. And I always talk about, too, developing the mindset that the emotion follows the action. We're never going to feel like doing what we need to do to get what we want.
Right.
There's going to be other things that seem better at
Yeah.
the time. Maybe like laying on the couch or
Yeah, eating ice cream.
eating
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
staying at your job where you're earning a paycheck, a
Right.
pretty good paycheck.
Exactly.
Because you have that example where you truly made a commitment to go all in
Right.
on what you think, what not think, but what you were born to do.
Yeah.
Share a little bit about that, because
Well-
sometimes we have to make a change that it's pretty intense.
And for me, that for sure went along with taking the leap of faith for me personally, because, yeah, you're exactly right. And you get to a point in a career where I call it being comfortable, and you're just okay, and you're just kind of
Floating down the river.
floating, and nothing really rattles you, or everything just kind of seems to be moving along the way you want. But I got to thinking to myself, am I really getting where I want to be? Is this really what God had intended for me to do for the rest of my career? And as I meditated and prayed and thought about it, and my wife was great support through the process, the answer was a resounding no. Something needs to change. And as I mentioned earlier, so let's acknowledge that. It was real easy for me to notice my physical challenges, and I've done many things, which I share videos and stuff kind of showing people how I've overcome those challenges.
Right.
Okay, well, what am I going to do now in regards to this obstacle in my life of this is your career, this is how you're supporting your family, but it's not really fulfilling you, it's not filling your cup, you're not serving your purpose here.
Right.
And so ultimately it was, let's take that leap of faith, let's go out, let's share stories with people, let's empower them. I like to leave them with the thought that if you could acknowledge or get over the fear of acknowledging your own disability, then think about Kurt and what he's done with his life, how he's been successful. I share with people my crowning achievement is my family,
Right.
being able to be a part of and share with it in their lives. If I can do it, so can they. So that's my message to them. Ultimately, if you can take the leap of faith, you're going to get uncomfortable. There's going to be some things that you're just going to have to let go and say it'll all happen the way it was meant to be. And finally, like you're alluding to, I resigned from 25 years of banking, and here I am today.
Yeah. On this show, famous.
Who'd have thunk?
famous in a small town, right? No, I love that. And you know, we're not saying it's time for you to quit your job or anything like that,
No.
because you can follow your dreams. You can, sometimes we have to earn a living, and we have to pay our bills. In fact, Dr. Eileen Setti at our conference last Saturday, her topic was following your dreams while paying your bills. And
I
so,
sat in on it. It was great.
yeah. And so, you know, you can definitely balance those two things out, but take some action.
Yes.
You know, it might not necessarily be that now's the time for you to cash in your entire career. It might be. If it is, if that's what you're feeling led to, you know, don't let fear stop you. There's this,
Right.
you know, fear too. We need to develop, you know, the mindset that fear should not stop us. In fact, Gary Haven, who's the founder of Curbs, he always said this, and I loved it, and I used it. I've used it constantly. I used it in opening I've Decided and all that we're doing. And he said, when there's something you want to do, you do your due diligence, you do your research, you weigh your pros and your cons. And if the pros outweigh the cons, and the only thing that's holding you back is fear, you should always 100% of the time go for it. Fear should never keep you from doing something.
Because for all those reasons, if you dwindle it down all the way, then and the fears, then that's you. You're
Right.
the only thing that's holding you back from, which is so ironic when you think about it. You know, why is it? Why am I not feeling full? Well, it's you. You know,
Right.
you're the one that needs to make a change. You need the one that needs to develop a new lifestyle. Develop some, and as you mentioned, I'm going to be the last person to encourage somebody to quit something. You know, I'm not saying that, and I say I resign.
Yeah, you had a 25-year career.
Yeah,
You didn't
and I
just
didn't
up and
quit. No, but what I do encourage them is let's think about, you know, what are some of the things that might be going on in your life that are causing you to be tired, that are causing you to maybe have some rifts in your family life, or what's holding you back. You know, are you spending too many hours at work, and what's off balance?
Yeah,
you know,
something is.
Yeah.
Maybe you're spending too much time in front of the TV.
Yes.
You know, that can be holding you back. We talk about debt, and we talk about weight, and we talk about time management skills. But really, sometimes just where we spend our time. You
Yep.
know, if we're spending our time doing too much of something that's not really getting us where we want to go, we need to work on developing that.
New strategies.
New strategies.
For
New
sure.
strategies for sure. And of course, I can't let the show end without saying we'd love for you to join our I've Decided community. It's a great community, right, Kurt?
Oh man, awesome people. Yep.
It is. Awesome people like Kurt. And we have...
At the garden.
We meet at the garden. In fact, we have an opportunity for our business members and leaders in the community to join us on this Thursday morning at 8:30 at the garden for business networking. We call it BYOB. Build your own business.
Build your own business.
Right, we trick you, but build your own business. And then, because it's the third Thursday and the first Friday, all in the same week, kind of weird, but February 1st fell on a Friday. So it's the fourth Friday, the third Thursday and the fourth Friday. On the fourth Friday, we have our Success Social. And that's where our community members and our business members come together. And we just connect and network, and we eat. It's Mardi Gras theme.
I
And so,
heard.
yeah.
You gonna have beads and everything?
And we got beads, and Deborah, a catered affair. She
she's
actually
awesome.
went to a cooking school in Louisiana to learn how to make this gumbo.
Oh.
And she's going to be serving her world famous gumbo. There's no charge for that. Friday, 4:30 to 6 at the garden.
Awesome.
And we want to invite you guys to come join us. Just see what we're all about. You might like it. We can help you achieve your goals and dreams. Thanks, Kurt, for being with us on the show today. Thank you guys for tuning in to My Success here, third Tuesday every month around 12:30ish. And next Tuesday, we will be back around 12:32. Have a rest of a good day.
Thank
the
you.
weather, hopefully.
PeoriaLife.com